I'm so excited for this next guest, and she doesn't like attention, and she doesn't want me to brag about her. But I have to say one thing. I have to say this. I'm sorry. I just asked them to bring me tissues before she came on stage because I heard her speak in person. I was standing arms width away from her when she told her story that first night that I visited this warehouse. I think I got a sinus infection from how hard I cried. And she's an extraordinary woman with an extraordinary story. You're going to really want to have some tissues nearby. Pardon? You could. Can she stand? Can we have her stand if she's more comfortable that way? Yes, let's have her stand. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce the most unbelievable tzaddiket, Mrs. Ruchi Fry. She's known as a Mora because she's had a playgroup for 42 years. How lucky are those kids who had you as a Mora? I wish I was your student.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please tell us your story about Chesed 24/7.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say how really, truly honored I feel to be here tonight and witness all the wonderful, wonderful women that's going on here and the tremendous chesed that you're all doing. My association with Chesed 24/7 goes back around almost 10 years ago. My friend made a wedding in Williamsburg, and although I usually drive, for some reason I took the bus in from Muncie. And I figured that I would get a ride back with someone. So I did get a ride back with someone, and in the back seat was sitting this person who I'd never met before in my life, Dvorah Adler. I think by now everybody must know who she is. She's definitely a household word here for Chesed 24/7. She gets into the car and sits down next to me, and she looks at me. She didn't ask my name, and she says, "Tell me, so do you live on a rich block or a poor block?" And I look at her like, hello, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why does she care? I mean, if I live on a rich block, do I get to jump into the front seat and you'll stay here in back? Or if I live on a poor street, are you going to jump over me and go in the front and I'm going to stay here all by myself in the back? I couldn't understand it. And then she introduces herself and tells me about her life passion of Chesed and how she works at Chesed 24/7. And they have this remarkable, outstanding program where they fill up all the hospitals in the tri-state area. So what she does is she tries to find the right people to do the right job. For instance, if they want to get donations, so like everything else with 24/7, they do it with a lot of caring and devotion and sensitivity. So she figured like this: if I live on a rich block, then maybe she could ask me to donate more expensive things like coffee or tuna. If I live rather on a poorer street, then, she would be able to see what would fit into my budget. And that is how I met. And like they say, the rest is history. It's 10 years now, where she asked me, what about chocolate-covered wafers? I said, I love chocolate-covered wafers. No problem with that. And she asked me if I think that we could donate that. So Baruch Hashem, it's going now for almost 10 years. So that was the way that I got introduced to this wonderful thing. Then it was funny because Dvorah told me that really they could pick it up each month, etc. And I said, no problem, I drive, I'll do it myself. And that it should be delivered, and she gave me an address. Well, for almost 10 years, I was delivering myself the packages of wafers to this address. And I used to go very late at night. We were told, the volunteers, that it has to be given in the night before Rosh Chodesh, because it's on Rosh Chodesh that the extraordinary volunteers go and replenish all the hospital rooms. Well, I used to bring it no matter what time of night. Whenever it worked, I would bring it and leave it there. Once, around a year ago, it was like a really dark night, and I pulled in my car, and like this big car, a van, pulled in behind me, and out jump a man and a lady, and they say to me, "We got you! We found you! Are you the wafer lady?" And I thought to myself, I've been called worse things in my life. I can handle that, the wafer lady. And they thanked me, and how this is going on for all these years. And Baruch Hashem, we've never missed a month, and it's always there on time. And then the man looks at me and he says, just one little thing. It's the wrong address. Who told you to bring it here? And it seems that was before they had this most haven of, I know the Eibishter, this is like a mikdash ma'at, like almost like the base, a mikdash, this warehouse, where the Shekhinah is just having so much nachas. And it was changed to this, but nobody ever told me. Anyway, so it's around a year now that I have had the pleasure to always bring it over here to the right place. The truth is each and every person here tonight has to so bench the Eibishter that we are on the giving end. It's Chaim Kirtzono. We live according to the Eibishter's Ratzon. And the Eibishter chooses who are the givers and who never have to be the takers. But we are both doing the same job. The takers also. They are doing what the Eibishter wants them to. But it could change. It could change. And givers become takers. It's almost a year ago now when Corona first started, back last year after Purim, and I got it. And I was in a very prestigious hospital. I really decided that I don't want to even say which one, because what happened was so not personal, was so not directed at trying to be mean or anything. It was pashut. They were over their heads. People were falling like flies, and they couldn't waste time doing anything else than that critical care. I was in the intensive care, and I was unconscious. For a while, I have absolutely no recollection of being brought into a hospital, and like in the movies, like every so often, not every so often, but I remember one night opening my eyes and thinking like, whoa, where am I? Where am I? All those bright lights. But I didn't even stay up long enough to get my answer. I was there, and they had just brought me in on Friday morning. Friday, Shabbos, Sunday. Now it's Monday. And on Monday, first of all, the nurses, I have to say, it was Monday morning. The first time that I recollect even seeing a nurse. And she came in and she said to me, okay, tell me everything you need. And remember, because I won't be back for 9 hours. What do you think? You're the only one here? And I didn't know what hit me. No, I said, that's all right. I was afraid to ask her for anything. But one thing, I don't know how I noticed that my hair was uncovered. And I said to her, yes, I do need something. Can you please give me something to cover my head, my hair? Both hands had IV on the inside of the elbow. So basically, I couldn't move. I couldn't move off the bed because my hands were both tied down. I don't know how I somehow felt my hair. And I begged her, please. I said, I'm an Orthodox Jew. I need to cover my hair. And she said, are you crazy? A shower cap? Even if you paid, we wouldn't give you. Every time a nurse went in and out of a room, they had to put on the whole getup and the gloves and the masks. And yes, a shower cap to cover their heads. I begged her. I said, one shower cap. No. It was Monday sometime when that same nurse did come into my room, not with a shower cap, and she put the phone near me. She said, "It's your husband." I cried. He cried. We didn't say a word, but we spoke volumes. 5 days earlier, I left. And he had no idea what I was doing. Then I said, "This is an opportunity I can't let go." I said, "Maishi, listen carefully. I'm starving. I have not eaten, not one thing in these 5 days, nor did I drink. If I ever recall asking a nurse for an ice chip, they said no, because they thought putting me on a respirator." And I said to my husband, "After all these years, I can't die like this because of this. Please send me some food or a drink." But I should go to my tickle drawer. Please get me a snood and send it here. I don't know how, but it has to be quickly, because I don't know how much longer I'll manage. My husband hung up, and he was frantic. And he called my youngest son. And AJ said, "Ta, it's simple. Chesed, 24/7. Listen, they never close down. They should be called 24/7 is right. 7 days a week and 20. Okay." He says, "Listen, just like they go and fill up all the hospitality rooms for the last 10 years with mommy's wafers, maybe that means they're getting into the hospital. Let's call them immediately." My son lives in Brooklyn. He came out to Muncie, and he put together a package. And he put in my snood and my siddur. And he made many phone calls. And they told him to go to a Mr. Friedman. The man is known as the Malach. He's a Malach in New Square for Chesed 24/7. My son brought him the package, and he said, "You don't understand. There's no way. They don't let us in." And my son cried and said, "You have to hurry. You have to hurry and get this to my mother, please." I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And every time a hair touched my hand, I cried. But I waited, and it was evening, because I saw outside it was dark. I knew my husband wouldn't let me down. And then, a little while later, I heard noise, but a lot of noise. There was screaming and yelling, and I got so scared. I was in a private intensive care room, but it was completely made up of glass. And I looked, and you won't believe it. I saw a little Hasidic man, and he was surrounded by big security guards, and they were screaming, "Get out of here! Get out!" And I started to scream, "Wait!" And Hashem made him turn his head toward me, and our eyes locked. But I couldn't lift my arms because of the IV. But I was screaming, "It's me! You have something for me!" I knew my family would do it. "It's me!" He looked at me. He was holding a Racklin kosher bag, and he dropped it. And he was ushered out, followed by loads of security personnel. There were so many people yelling at him that I can't begin to tell you how badly I felt. But I needed that stuff. And I waited, And I waited. Hashem, please. I kept thinking, is this a way to die? Please. And then, late at night, a nurse comes to my room, and she's putting on her get up, my shower cap, and her gown and her gloves. And she opens my door. She says, "What is this? What is this?" It was the bag. I said, "Please, just bring it into me. It's mine." She says, "How?" "Don't ask. Just bring it here quickly." She brought the bag in, and she left. And I want everyone listening here to remember what I'm about to say. A person has a body, a goof. And yes, you can't live without food and drinking for 5 days. I guess I had IV, which was also sustaining me. But a body has an neshama. And I needed my snoot. I needed my snoot so terribly. And as hard as it was, only my fingers were moving because I was tied down. I got the snoot out of the bag. And when I put it on my head, it was a crown. And I felt like a queen. This never would have happened without Chesed 24/7. And if you want to laugh, what did my son send me? A pastrami sandwich. But I knew that it was sent with love. But I knew that the package was delivered with a caring and a devotion unparalleled in Klal Yisrael. Thank you for helping Chesed 24/7. And I am here today thanks to the Ribbono Shel Olam's Shlichim at 24/7. Good night.
Chargers, because I connected to that so much, because as a mommy and as a businesswoman, when your phone is running out of battery, you're, oh my gosh, I need a charger. Does anybody have a charger?
Right.
So tell them the story, because that was incredible.
So I think it's important for the viewers and everybody to know that besides for the food, which is obviously so important, there's so many things that the Chesed 24/7 room provides that maybe people don't know about. So in one instance, when my husband was a patient at the John Thoreau Cancer Center, which is part of Hackensack University Hospital, I took him there for his weekly his weekly appointment, and which was to be followed by his treatment. When we got there, the doctor had some concerns, and he sent us across the street to the Hackensack University Hospital ER. So already we were a couple hours at the appointment, and now we went to the ER. And from the looks of the ER, we knew he wasn't being seen anytime soon. So I looked down at my phone, I'm at 5%, and clearly panicked. Besides for the whole situation being extremely stressful, there I was, and my connection to the outside world was quickly going down. So I'm asking the nurses, everybody, does anyone have a phone? A phone charger, no one had one. I guess they were nervous to lend it out, maybe fearing they're not going to get it back. Looking around, no one had a charger. So as I'm seeing it's going to 3%, I call a family member. She's very happy to bring it, but it would take some time. And there I am alone and have to be in touch with doctors, my children. So I just had a thought. I said, maybe, I know there's a Chesed 24/7 room here. Maybe I can go upstairs, see if they have a charger. So, I told the doctors I'll be back in 10 minutes, gave my phone, or I figured at least maybe if someone's in the Chesed 24/7 room who could loan me their charger. So I go upstairs, and there it is, like the oasis in the desert. It's a box with, a bunch of different kind of phone chargers coming out of it.
The
for any type
happiest
of
thing
phone.
you could have found.
It was the
at
best
that
thing you could have
moment.
given me at that moment. I plugged in for 10 minutes because I knew my family member was bringing the charger, and I just had enough charge to be able to go downstairs. And even though I was in such a panicked situation, a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainties, not sure what we're getting ourselves into, at least I had my connection to the outside world. At least I had a way to connect with my family and the doctors. And it's something that I have no words to express what a relief it was to go up there and see the box of chargers.
You're hearing just one story, but this connects to so many people. We can all relate because we've all been in a situation where our phone battery was dying and we were desperate. But you said something so pivotal. You said that you got just enough charge. That's what Chesed 24/7 is all about, to give you just enough charge, whether it's for your mind, whether it's for your neshama, whether it's for your body, whether it's to fuel the refuah via food, or just svarim in the room, magazines in the room if you're stuck over Shabbat and you need to keep your mind distracted, phone chargers, a sofa to sit on, a tehillim to daven from. Chesed 24/7 is not just the food.